Hey guys, welcome back. Congratulations on making it all the way to step 3 in this behavior change process. You're already being successful. Look at that. You made it through 2 of these videos of having to listen to me, and now you're on the 3rd one. So congratulations for bearing with me. So this 3rd step is we are going to create a plan to get us to where our vision is. So you've already got your vision. You've got something that's motivating you. You're excited. You're ready to go do something to make it happen. Okay, then you decided, okay, there's some behaviors related to getting to that vision. You've done a little bit of work understanding what might affect getting you to that vision. And so you've tracked some behavior for a week, hopefully longer, and you understand kind of where you're at. You're looking at the data, and now we're going to say, okay, let's make a plan to change something there. So the first step in the process of making a plan is, you're not going to like this, but you need to do your homework. So again, you've probably already done some homework to know what behavior you need to track. If you're, sorry to use the weight loss example again, but if you're trying to lose weight, then you're probably thinking it's probably about something of eating or maybe my exercise habits. So you've tracked your eating or your exercise habits. Now as you do your homework to find out what you need to do, what type of plan you need to have to change your behavior, maybe you realize there's something you didn't track. Maybe it happens to be that sleep you find for the behavior you're tracking, for your vision that you have. Maybe sleep is the most important thing, so you realize, you know what, maybe I've got some good stuff I've tracked, but maybe I need to go back and also track my sleep behavior. So this is not a process that you've just done once. You need to go back and maybe you need to repeat step 2, or maybe you need to refine your vision, and that's just fine. So it's going to be a process you have to go through multiple times to get to where you want to be. So sorry I didn't tell that to you earlier, but you need to be doing your homework along the whole way to know here's what you're looking for. Something that is easy and will make an impact. So if your vision is losing weight and the behavior you decide you want to change is cleaning your dishes every night, well, you can track that behavior and you can change how many times you do the dishes during the day, but that behavior is probably not going to lead to helping you accomplish your vision. Not that doing your dishes is a waste of time. You probably need to set that to be another behavior to change, but that's for another time if that's not your vision. So it needs to be relatively easy, and it needs to make an impact. For weight loss, it's probably going to revolve around something you eat and probably some exercise behavior. Those are 2 simple examples you could use. Okay, so those are things relating to weight loss. There might be another example, let's say with your medical school. You want to get into medical school. You've talked to some people, you're doing your homework. You're seeing what it looks like for someone that successfully makes it into medical school. And you find that physiology was a really important defining class in their schooling. And so you realize, I'm taking physiology, I'm taking basketball, volleyball, and bowling. Well, you probably should just change your major, because that isn't a good semester that looks like you're getting into medical school, unless that's like your last semester filling in some credits. But let's just say you've got all B's and you're taking those 4 classes, and you've tracked your behavior, you're analyzing it now and trying to create a plan to change something, and you realize I spend about the same amount of time on all of my classes. It seems like physiology, based on the homework I've done, physiology seems like a defining class to get into medical school. So you might say an easy behavior that could make an impact there is, I'm only spending an hour 3 days a week studying physiology. Well, maybe I could spend 2 hours 3 days a week studying physiology. Or maybe I could spend 1 hour 6 days a week, or 2 hours 6 days a week. It just depends on you and what you think would make sense. You're just experimenting here. So find something that makes sense, that's easy, and will make an impact on helping you take a small step to get closer to your vision. Okay, so an important concept we'll talk about here is an outcome versus a task. So these are kind of a mindset you need to think about, because an outcome is typically your vision. An outcome is something you don't entirely have in your control. So weight loss, I want to lose 20 pounds. You don't ultimately have control over all of your physiology that will get you to lose 20 pounds. That's not ultimately in your control. If you want to get accepted to medical school, that's not ultimately in your control. It's in the control of whoever the acceptance committee is. And if you want to have an undefeated season in a particular sport, that might be a vision that you have. Well, that's not ultimately in your control. That depends on the teams that you play, and it depends on maybe how many injuries you have. So all of those things are not necessarily in your control. Those are called outcomes. This plan is going to be task-oriented. So what that means is it's in your control. It's something that you can control in your behavior. So let's use those three examples again. For a weight loss thing, what can you control? Well, I can control when I eat. I could control how much I eat. I can control what I eat. If it's for your getting into medical school, I can control when I study. How much I study. It could be how effective my studying is if I'm texting or getting drinks in between that time. If it's going to be a sports example, having an undefeated season is your vision, then a plan might be how many hours you practice every day, or how much weight you're lifting for a particular weightlifting session. Those are all things that are tasks that you have control over. And why is that important? You need to learn to think that way, because at the end of the week, and even at the end of your defined time to reach your vision, what if you haven't totally reached that outcome that you want? Does that mean your life is a failure? Well, no. If you've learned to think that you are controlling the things that you have control of, but ultimately you don't get to exactly to where you want to be. You don't get into medical school. Does that mean your life's a failure? No. It just means you didn't happen to get accepted because the committee didn't want you to be in medical school. But you've become a great person through changing your behavior to become something better. So it's an important mindset to understand. So you've done your homework. You understand the easy things that will make an impact in the behaviors that you have to get you towards your vision. You understand how to think about it. So now we're setting our plan, and we're going to be specific. Specific means, I am going to study from 3 to 5 on Monday through Friday for medical school. I'm going to eat only during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm not eating snacks or anything in between. Or I'm cutting out dessert foods. Something specific, so you know what you're dealing with here. The second thing needs to be measurable. So if your goal is just I want to feel happy this week, at the end of the week, you could measure that. I guess you could create a little scale, and 1 to 5, how happy are you? Definitely could do that. But if you don't make a scale to measure how happy you are, and you just say, I want to be happy at the end of the week, are you sure you've achieved it? I don't know. You have to be able to measure it. So how consistent were you at eating those breakfast, lunch, and dinner and nothing in between? You can track that throughout the week and realize, okay, I measured it and I'm 90% successful. Or studying from 3 to 5 Monday through Friday, what's my percentage of success for that week? You can measure that. So it's easy, and you can improve that percentage as you go. You can set a new plan for the following week to bring you another step closer to your vision. Okay. The next thing needs to be a little beyond your reach. So it needs to be a little beyond your reach, because this is why New Year's resolutions fail. Because people set these goals way up here, and they say, this is the year it's going to happen. I'm going to do this big time 20 pounds in the first week type thing, and realize I failed the first week, or maybe I tried really hard, but I just didn't get there. And so then you get disappointed, and you say, now next week I'm going to try really hard, and then you fail the next week, and then you say, okay, I'm going to set a new goal. I'm going to push it really hard. This week I'm done giving up. I'm going all out. And so you ratchet it up, and you set an even higher goal, and you just keep setting yourself up for disappointment. So what we're trying to do with this whole process of behavior change is to teach you to think successfully about yourself. You're building mental skills and some physical skills, depending on what you're working on, that can help you look back and say, I can be successful. That's the most important thing you need to understand. Because if you're thinking you're successful, that fire is going to build to help you continue on the path to be motivated to get to your vision. When you constantly see your failures, it's not fun anymore, and so you stop and give up, which is what happens to a lot of people. So we're just teaching you a pattern of how to think about changing a behavior positively so that you can actually be motivated enough and see the success that something's working. And if it's not working, it's okay, change it. And you can continually go on the process to making progress towards your vision. Okay, and the last thing is a time frame. So if you say my first step is that I want to study 3 to 5 Monday through Friday. Maybe my first plan is just for this first week. So I'm going to make it for the first week, see what percentage I get, and then go back and modify it from there. Or maybe it's for the first month. You just need to set a time frame to make sure you know what you're shooting for so you know when to go reanalyze it. And that'll be up to you depending on what type of behavior you're looking at. But it's good to have it. I do it every week for most of the things that I track, because then it gives you enough time to have some data to look at, but it also doesn't let you stray too far off the path. If it's not working, you need to modify it, tweak it a bit, so that you can be successful headed to where you're going to be. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully these make sense. So take some time right now, sit down, think about these things, make yourself a plan, something that will get you one step closer to where your vision is, and you repeat these processes as you need to. Go look at the other videos, whatever it takes to get this process rolling so you've got a plan that works. And then we'll go on to the next video, take step 4 after this. So thanks, and we will see you later.